We're here today with Casey Janiszewski.
Right.
Would you spell your last name for me, please?
Janiszewski.
Great, thank you so much. Now, you hail from Wisconsin, and you must have been a good student because you started out at Marquette,
Yes.
right? Okay. And what made you want to go into the Navy?
Well, actually, I wanted to go into the Navy Air Corps,
Right?
and because I love flying, and I love the Navy, so I joined the Navy Air Corps.
Great.
I went in before I got drafted because I wanted to be sure I got what I wanted.
That was smart. Where did you go to boot camp?
Pardon?
Where did you go to boot camp?
Farragut, Idaho.
Oh, so you got to see quite a bit of the country there
Oh, yeah.
during your training, right?
Farragut, and then where did I go from there? Memphis, outside of Memphis, Tennessee.
Right, right. And where else? You went to Florida, right, for flight training?
Oh yeah, Jacksonville
Jacksonville,
for flight training.
right, and then on to San Diego.
Then San Diego.
Okay, all right. So you knew that you wanted to fly. You always knew that, right?
Always.
Okay.
Always.
All right. Okay. So, what did you think of the Catalina when you were introduced to it?
Actually, I wanted the Catalina
You wanted the Catalina.
because I wanted to be in a Pacific theater. And Catalina was a seaplane. So if I were shot down, then I'd land in the ocean.
Very good. Very good. Tell me about the Catalinas. The craft, the aircraft.
It was a twin-engine seaplane, pontoon job. It had a range of probably 3,000 miles. Had a terrific speed of about 110 miles an hour. But actually, when I went overseas, I had an opportunity to join up in a special area of flying at night with the Catalinas. And the idea was that we carried 2 torpedoes, one under each wing. And if we flew at night when the Japanese were trying to slip through the South China Sea, we bombed them, and they didn't see us coming. So we had a tremendous advantage. Of course, our planes were painted black, and I was the radio operator. So I guided the plane at night where we were going and getting back. So we only had one close call, really. We were on a bombing mission over there over the China coast. And we were flying back, and the pilot says, you know, we got a couple of bombs left. Not torpedoes, but a couple of bombs. And he says, I think we ought to do something about it. And he says, we'll fly back over Formosa on the way back, which was a big mistake because that's where we got hit. And we were 400 miles from home with one engine at night. And we made it back.
That's wonderful. You got hit a lot with that particular flight, didn't
Oh,
you?
yeah.
Right. You just squeaked on home, right? So you mentioned that you were a radio and radar man. So could you tell me more about your role? What that entailed?
What that entailed was to give the instructions to the pilot and the co-pilot where we were and where we were going and how far away we were from our destination. And we were constantly in communication with the pilot
I see.
because he was flying at night.
Right. And you communicated through headphones and
Yeah.
a microphone, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And what types of missions did the Catalinas fly? Did you fly? What types of missions?
A few rescue missions, but mostly bombing missions at night. That's why we were very, very successful. I don't remember exactly, but I know that our squadron, I think we sunk probably 600,000 tons of Japanese. And and we were only hit once.
That's quite impressive. It really is. There were 9 crew members on the Catalina, is
Yeah.
that correct?
Right.
Okay. Did you have a cohesive group of guys? Were you all compatible and
Oh, yeah, we lived together all during the war.
you did?
I mean, when we were overseas.
So you stayed with that same group of guys?
Same group of guys in a tent.
Mm-hmm.
And, all stayed in the same tent.
So
Pretty
when you
crowded.
were, yeah, well, I guess so. When you weren't flying missions, where were you stationed?
In the Philippines.
In the Philippines?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, so you did tell me about the bombing mission where you got shot at, and then there was one other very interesting mission you had where you went to Australia. Would you tell me about that one?
Oh, yeah, we were very fortunate. We were assigned the mission to fly to Australia to load up with about 120 cases of beer and fly back. And you should have seen the ovation we got when we landed and we got back.
That's great.
Yeah.